What? Whoa! Are we back? Yes! Happy New Year, one and all! It's 2023. 119 days to London Marathon Series. And this is episode 2. So welcome aboard, one and all. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Oh, sorry. Is there something on my head? Ah, yes. The Flash. Just call me The Flash. Yes, I know. Party hats and all that. Anyway, enough frivolity. So be sure to share this video and please do give this video a thumbs up, subscribe and already hit the alarm bell if you haven't already done so, because it really does help my channel. The purpose of this video series is to help us all along as a group community, not only along to London Marathon, but also other marathons that you may be doing coming up this year, because there's already a lot of you all on board. I will also be sharing my weekly training updates and talking about key topics each week, where this week's key topic is sleep. Oh, yes, sorry. Yes. How has your holiday season been going? Yes, it's New Year, New You and all that jazz. Yeah, I've got a video coming out about that. But anyway, more about that later. So the first week of training is now complete. We have 112 days to go. Yes. Whilst we're following this series, whilst the book is written by Chris Evans, the training that is in here is being put together by Dr. Martin Yelling, who is the key coach for London Marathon itself. So there's all sorts of training plans in there. So whilst there's a training plan in here which people can follow, there is also a journal. But you don't need to buy this book for a journal. You can also just buy any old book for a journal. I would highly recommend some form of journal, especially if it is your first marathon. It's great to record that on paper. I call it old school. You can record it on your mobile phone or whatever. But yes, 119 days is the theme of this to progress through. They say all roads lead to Rome, but this particular road will be going to London and other marathons, because there's a lot of you already on board. Whether you are on board or not for London Marathon, there are other marathons as well, but a lot of you already commented on last week's video that you're already on board. People like Running Romani is on board. Yes, did you see his comment? Yes. Looking forward to seeing you at London. Wayne Heppel is also on board. Looking forward to seeing you at London. Al Morrison, all the way out there in Australia, will be heading over to London for London Marathon. Very much looking forward to seeing you, Al. Yes, we can have a great old chat finally in person. And also not forgetting Rick D. Whilst he's not doing London, he's doing Manchester a few weeks before, but he's following along also. So welcome, Rick. And also we have Chris Wayman on board, who's doing Worcester Marathon, which is a little bit later. I think it's in May, is that right, Chris? So looking forward to you sharing your views as you go through with the training, because everyone's following different training plans. Leave it in the comments below what training plan you are following, because as I mentioned in my first week, it's essential, especially if it's your first marathon, to have some form of training plan to keep things consistent. Because if we don't have a plan, or as the phrase goes, if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. I know, profound, isn't it? Not my quote, someone else's quote. Can't remember who exactly, but yes, one for the books. So as I mentioned, part of this I'll be sharing what training I will be doing as we progress through week by week. But the past week I've been training for another 10k. Yes, I know, by the time you see this, I may have already ran that 10k. But hey, so I'm in 10k training still, having done the Telford 10k, and that has continued. So my marathon training starts officially in a few weeks' time, so I'll be updating you on those. But I'll still be keeping the consistent training, as you've seen on my previous video in this past week, where I've done the 2020 review, which was fantastic. Some lovely feedback from all of you guys. It's been an epic year. Sometimes I forget some of the achievements that we've done despite all the adversity and illness and so on. And also some of the predictions for 2023. Have you seen that video? Rewind back, have a look through my back catalogue and you'll see that it was out a few days ago. Look forward to seeing on that. And also I'll be sharing with you, if you are new year, new you, and just started running as well, whether you're doing a marathon or not, that some of the habits that are essential in terms of what we need to, how it helps us, and the 4 stages that we go through in running. Yes, I've called it 4 stages. That's a video to look forward to later on this week. So talking about the topic of sleep, which is mentioned here in week 2 of the training. Most of the training for this coming week, if you're following along, will be a combination of walk running for the beginners. Yeah. And it's just stepping up the time that we do. So reading the quote in here that's been put together by Martin Yelling, he talks about his thoughts for the week, which is don't be wobbled by breathlessness. It happens to the most experienced runners at the beginning of the run. Stay calm, slow down, walk if you need to. Chill, your breath will recalibrate itself. If you're feeling good, drop or reduce the walking breaks. Keep your pace light and controlled as you quietly dial into continuous duration. Profound words. So yes, I remember my first run and I was out of breath and breathless. So I stopped, walked, and then had a break and then carried on. And that's what I think most of us do, is keep it simple. So in this book here, it talks about sleep. So we have lots of, what you can see on here, rest days, and it talks about sleeps, and there's various hacks in there that we can do. Now I can read it straight from the book, but I won't, because there's many different forms of action. I'm not a specialist, but the key things that I found that work for me, they may not work for you, but try things and leave in the comments below what works for you. If you've had trouble sleeping, the reason why we talk about sleep, especially now, because sleep is the best form of recovery and helps our body to recover and keep us ready to do the training, because marathon training does take it out a lot of us. And also the best of the best, the elitist athletes all do lots of sleeping. They're real good, strong sleepers. They'll sleep between 10 and 12 hours a day. I know it sounds a lot, and for a lot of us who have day jobs working, we can't sleep that amount of time. So coming back to the real world is keeping a balance on that. But sleep is oh so important, not just for running, but in life in general. So leave in the comments below if you've got any tips and tricks. But for me, what works for me is I tend to go to bed at the same time, even at weekends. I know I'm probably living like a monk. Anyway, that's for another story. So yes, try and go to bed at similar times. Also, I find avoiding caffeine, coffee, certainly afternoon. Apparently there's a half-life of coffee, 12 hours. So if you've had caffeine in the afternoon, that can help reduce the relaxation. Also screen time, you're looking at mobile phones and all that type of stuff, that doesn't help either. So just calming down, relaxing. I know it may sound simple, but these are the kind of things that work for me. Another thing that works for me, especially we've had these cold nights and it can be a bit chilly, is putting on some bed socks. Yes, I know, keep my feet warm, and keeps the core warm as well. That helps with my sleep as well. So that's my little hints and tips on sleep. But I'd love to hear from you guys what tips you have on sleep. So yes, 112 days to go to London. Are you looking forward to this? I certainly am. I'm looking forward to reading your comments below of how you're progressing and what's happening, but be sure to share whatever you do, whatever is going on, because we are an open community here and everybody's very supportive of each other. And feel free to be honest and frank with, even though my name's Donato and your name might not be Frank, but be open and honest with people and help them along, because sometimes, you know, whilst we want to encourage and help others and be positive, sometimes we've got to keep it real. Yeah. And that's what we have on this channel. Reality. Yeah. Because for me, I'm coming up to my 4th London Marathon in person. I did do the virtual one during lockdown, but that happened to be at another event that did go ahead. So I did run a marathon race. I didn't sort of run in my back garden. Sorry, I'm in a chuckling mood now. I've got to try and stop me chuckling. Yes, guys. So whilst I may be on my 4th in-person London Marathon, this top here, I did do a mention in the previous video, but I edited it out because it did go on for quite a long time. This is known as the London Marathon Reject Jacket. There is a new branding now because obviously Virgin Money doesn't sponsor London Marathon anymore. I think it's the, who is it? Oh, what's it called? You see, sponsorship doesn't always work, does it? Is it, wow, what's it called? is it Tata Consultancy? Tata Consultancy? Something like that. Anyway, yeah. Tata Technology, I can't remember. Yeah, maybe the sponsors need to work on it, or maybe my memory isn't quite good for that. But anyway, enough about that. Rejection jacket, I applied, like many of you may have already applied on the ballot, and I got rejected, but I made a conscious effort to not get rejected again, where it's in my hands. So now each year I've been a good for age qualifier at my tender age that I'm now coming up to. Next year I'll be 62. Oh man, I feel like a proper old man now. But hey, age is just a number. So I've been qualifying all my races for London Marathon that I've ran as being a time qualifier for me. And I've qualified for other marathon majors as well on time qualifier. But that's for another video. So don't be discouraged. Keep going. Enjoy. Because this is the easy part. We're doing the base building, and I'll talk more in the next week's video about the stages of training, but I think you've sort of worked out the basics. The first part is just to build the base. Let's get our legs moving, get the tendons and all that used to being on our feet. And I look forward to catching you next week. 119 days to go, episode 3. This has been 119 days to go, episode 2, aka 112 days to go. So see you then. Have a great week. Enjoy your training, and I look forward to reading your comments below. And be sure, guys, to thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that alarm bell. And share this with all your friends and family. Thank you so much for your time. Bye bye bye. This is insane.